Alright, so let's set up a timer, okay? Um, so basically what we want to do is on event begin play, we want to set timer by event. Don't worry about this bit yet, we'll get to it. So set timer by event. So you right click, set, forget spell, set timer by event, right there. And then you want to make a custom event, so T period, add custom, give it a name, and then you want to plug in the output delegate here into the event, okay? Which is what I've done here. You want to make sure that the time is set to 1 and you have it set to looping. Then down here I created a float variable, game timer. You just click right here, add variable, and I gave it a name, game timer. And we want to get that, so if you hold control, drag out, we'll get it. And then hold alt, drag out, and you'll get a set. So you want that game timer, that game timer. You want to subtract 1 from the game timer. So if you drag off this, just push the minus sign, float minus float. Pop that in there. And then that'll be your timer, right? Additionally, you can also drag out to your game timer here for less than or equal to. So less than or equal to, float, less than or equal to, float. Keep it at 0, then do a branch. Hold B and left click will give you a branch. And then I just did a print string to kind of as a placeholder for time's up. Right? And now let's make a widget blueprint. So right click, user interface, widget blueprint. And then in your widget blueprint, you want to grab a text, not a text box, but a text, and drag this guy out. And then make sure to give it a name, so text variable, and make sure is variable is turned on, okay? Which is exactly what I did here. Timer text is variable. Compile, save, and then go to your graph. And now let's create a player variable. So if you create a variable here, name it player, and the variable type needs to be whatever character class you have. So in my case, it's third person character, as you can see, third person character, and you want that as an object reference. Compile, save, and then instance editable and expose on spawn. You want to make sure those two are ticked on. Okay. Now we'll go to our third person character. On event begin play, you want to drag off, create widget, right there. You want to choose your timer or whatever you named that new widget there. And then your player variable should pop up here. If it doesn't, make sure that instance editable and expose on spawn are ticked on and you have this blueprint compiled and saved. And then delete the create timer widget, put it back in, and then choose your widget again and it'll show up. Make sure to set the player variable as self. So you just drag off and type self. It's right there. And then drag off the return value, add to viewport. Okay. So now game timer, you wanna, let's set it to 540, I think. And then timer, we want to get our player variable. So drag this guy out, drag off the player, get game timer right here, or whatever you named your game variable, whatever this variable is here. That's the one you want to get. Okay, and then you drag off that guy. You want to type floor, and basically what a floor does is it averages out the value, right? So if you have like decimals and things in here, it'll just kind of average it out because this is a float and it's converting it to an integer, and integers can only be whole numbers. Okay, so drag off your floor, do a percent sign, choose that guy right there, that's here, and then you want a B to be 60. don't worry about this section. We'll go into it. And then you want to drag off here again, do a divide, integer by integer, and then type in 60. Right here you want to do another percent, so you can just choose that one and duplicate it. You select the node and hit Control W, and it'll duplicate it to wherever your mouse is. Okay, and then you want to right click, type append, and then plug the top one into A. The divide and then the percent. Plug it into A, and then on the second one here, what you want to do is hit space, colon, space, enter. And that'll create a space between the values so it's not so scrunched together. And then you want to add a pin and plug in just the percent, not with the divide, but the percent right in there. So this is minutes here. So we're dividing our game timer value, 540, by 60, because there's 60 seconds in a minute, to get how many minutes there are. And then additionally, we're just kind of doing a percent average for the seconds, because the format I'm using is seconds, 540 seconds. Okay, so now grab your timer text, and then you want to set text, and then grab this one with the one in parentheses, and then plug your append into the in text, and then plug it into event tick. We'll use event tick for now. Right. So now, if all set up correctly, we've got it counting down. Pretty cool, yeah? So now let's say we want one of our pickup items to increase and another one to decrease. So let's edit, and I want to drag this out a little bit, and then I want to set game timer. I want to get game timer, and then we'll just do a plus, plug that in, and then let's promote this guy to a variable. Let's call it game time, and let's make it public. Okay, so now on the key press, when we're overlapping it, when we go to pick it up, it'll add to our score, and it'll add to our game timer. So now, go into level, see game time right here. So let's add another 540. Well, let's take away like 860 on that one. Okay. Let's go over here. See, our time just jumped. Ooh, ha! I meant to do a negative here. So negative 860, so it's actually going to subtract. Let's pick that up. Subtract it from our time and add it to our time. Cool, right? And as you can see there, add it to our score. So yeah, so that's how you would go about doing a game timer and having the items that you pick up add to it or reduce it.